Hello everyone, and this week we're taking a look at the Commando, and we're going to ask the question, should you play a Commando healer, or a Merc healer should we say, Bodyguard mercenary in 3.0, and now this is the flavor of the month class, we have to say right now. Regardless of whether you're playing DPS or a healer, yes, you should play a Commando. It's going to be the only class that's left in the game at the current rate. Again, the first Revan kill on the live servers was done mostly with bounty hunters, with power tech. Well, it was a power tech, but mostly with commandos. Well, obviously power techs for tanking, but mostly with commandos. Commandos are the flavor of the month class. DPS wise, they are the top DPS, but we're not here to talk about DPS. No, we are here to talk about the Bodyguard Merc. I'm saying Commando a lot and Merc a lot because right now I'm maining a Commando. Yeah, I had to let the old scoundrel go. Poor Lanessa, we had to let her fall away, and we're now maining a Commando. Yay, that's fun, you know. After years as a Merc, we're back to the Commando, and really something sad about that. I have to say, I find it quite sad that I'm maining a Commando, but you know, considering my Commando has only cleared 2 operations. They are Ravagers, Temple of Sacrifice, and my Merc has done every other operation since the game launched. It's kind of sad, really. It's kind of sad to think about that, if you think about that on the Merc. The footage you're looking at is mercenary footage, but we'll try to keep it as mercenary and relevant as possible. It does apply to the Commando, it's the same class, really. But yeah, the Bodyguard Merc, what do we do? What is our specialty? That is, of course, tank healers. We are the big bad tank healers. That's not to say that we are not viable for AoE healing. Our AoE healing is actually not that bad. We're not that bad for AoE healing. Probably slightly, maybe slightly ahead of the Sage in terms of AoE healing. Certainly for mobility, we are pretty decent as well. We're not quite as good as the Sage. Our mobility is mostly tied to cooldowns. However, our burst heal, our single target burst healing on the move, is the best in the game, bar none. You know, there's no other healer that can come close to us for single target healing on the move. And bear in mind, although these are single target heals, we can spread them around multiple people. So we can be an awesome AoE healer on the move as well. We're not quite as bursty as the Sage, which just has their little bouncing ball of goodness, their wandering mend. However, we are awesome when it comes to just instant cast healing. That's our thing. I mean, it is tied to cooldowns. We can put out, if we spec with the right utilities, we can put out a massive amount of healing. Power Surge is the thing I remember from the previous video when I couldn't remember the thing. Power Surge, one of our most important abilities, lets us cast a heal on the move, lets us cast 2 heals on the move with a utility, so we can chain together 4 instant cast heals on the go. But these are all tied to cooldowns. That is our downside. So if we're on cooldown, we kind of struggle a bit. So we really want to plan ahead as a Merc healer. So we want to be looking for the big damage moments, usually after a mass barrage on Bulow. Did Bulow HM tonight on the Commando. Got him down the first time on my Commando. It's pretty good. Already had him down on the healer, but it's good to get him down on the Commando. Not as well geared, my Commando right now, as my healer, but it was nice to finally get Bulow down with the Commando. But it is awesome for AoE healing and movement-based healing. Movement-based AoE healing, of course, progressive scan. Again, we can take the utility Thrill of the Hunt, which can use it on the move. Recommended, I would say, probably a requirement for progression. You really want to be healing on the move. Certain bosses are like Bulow, of course. We can AoE heal while Mass Barrage is up. You know, just do that and get that progressive scan off and heal 4 targets generally. Generally, where it's used, especially on Bulow, is both tanks, because they're quite close together. Bulow and Torque. It's pretty useful. They're close together, and when they're both taking damage, you can use that to heal both of them at the same time. One ability healing 2 tanks, which is very, very nice. We can also use things like our emergency scan, which again procs our, what is it? Advanced medical probe it is. It's a healing scan, that's what it's called on the Merc. I have to learn these terminologies. I don't like these different terminologies for different classes, if we're honest, to be honest. But yeah, a healing probe, not healing probe, the healing scan, should we say? Yeah, Commando's all probes and the Merc's all scans. So yeah, healing Healing scan, there we go, we get it right, we'll get it right then. I've written down here HS, so it's like, ooh, what's that? What the hell is HS? I should have wrote healing scan down, really, that was my fault. But anyway, yeah, healing scan becoming instant cast. Now we can chain together 4 instant cast heal. We can chain together 3 instant cast healing scans. Healing scan is our most potent heal, our most potent single target heal. Proactive medicine has been changed. It is now on emergency scan, and with 3.1.2 healing scan is going to come in, or should we say rapid scan is going to make a comeback, certainly for the DPS mercs. Rapid scan is going to be doing all our procs and things are going to be coming from rapid scan rather than healing scan, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not a huge deficit to us, because again, getting those 3 instant cast healing scans, which are nice. You're saying healing scan is a cooldown, yeah, but if you use supercharge, power surge, get those 2 instant cast healing scans in a row, and again we can chain that together with emergency scan to get 4 instant cast heals in a row, and that's huge. Bear in mind you don't have to use them all on the one target. It is wise to spread them out amongst the other targets. I mean, if the target is about to die, that's where we come in. We are the best single target burst healer in the game. And AoE healing it's okay. Progressive scan's decent. You've got your Colto missile, which is okay. You know, it's okay. It heals 8 people now, so it's not so bad actually. And you know, it does a decent amount of initial healing. And it also, its hot isn't great. Hots are not really our strong point either. Proactive medicine's hot. Again, it's a slight nerf. We've had the proactive medicine because proactive medicine now is tied to emergency scans, so we can't use it as often basically. But yeah, it is probably the best healer right now for PvE. PvP, it still falls behind the Sage just because the Sage has more survivability. That's the only real difference in PvP, is we do lack the survivability. We only really have 1 cooldown, and that's our shield. We also have our little, Colto overload, and it's not great, to be honest with you. It doesn't heal us for a lot. Most of the time I drop below 45% health as it is now in 3.1.2. It got changed to that. Most of the time we're gonna die anyway. I think it's not enough to save us really. It just doesn't heal us for enough. It just heals you until you hit 45% health. You can activate it when you're above 45% health, but it won't come into action until you are below 45% health. So that is the only thing that does, and it's not a great heal. It'd be nice if it gave us, if we took it away and let it increase our damage reduction maybe, or you know, increase their resistance to certain things maybe would be nice. But again, it's not the best really. For off-spec damage, we're okay. We've got our Electronet, which is a low cost damage over time ability in PvE. In PvP it is a root, I guess. Well, it's a snare actually, more of a snare. It slows the target the more they move, but again, it's not the best in PvP. That was what they gave us to increase our survivability, was they gave us the ability to slow targets down, and it progressively slows targets as it deals damage over time. But it's just a dot in PvE because it's not going to slow a boss down, really. Yeah, bosses are immune to movement impairing effects, so from a PvE perspective, it is only going to slow the boss down. It's not going to be a huge difference to I mean, it's good because, I mean, it's good for sort of DPS because it's very low heat costs very little heat, and you know, does a reasonable amount of damage over time. We tend to use things like full auto or unload. We didn't lose that in the patch. That was only the Vanguards that lost that, the Vanguards and the Power Techs that lost that. So yeah, we can still do that. We still use our mortar volley if we can stand still long enough to get it off. Bear in mind, if you take Thrill of the Hunt, you can still use full auto on the move as well, which is pretty nice actually. So if we've got no healing to do, it's worth firing a full auto out. It's very, its heat cost is not too bad, to be honest with you. And yeah, again, it is, you know, it does a reasonable amount of damage. It's not like blazing bolts that you get if you're an Arsenal spec, but again, it is a very, very good healer at the moment. It is probably the OP healer. The changes that are coming aren't really going to affect the healer dramatically, so we can still do this video before 3.2.1 comes around. So again, it's not going to dramatically. It is going to affect off-spec healing, maybe. That's the only thing, because they're essentially swapping rapid scan and healing scan over. So healing scan is going into the healer tree, and rapid scan is going to be available to all mercs. That's the only basic difference for all of them. But yeah, the merc healer, good, bad, yeah, is probably the best healer right now. Fights like Sword Squadron, tanks take a lot of damage. Very, very good. There's a bit of AoE damage going out. We can deal with that. We are the perfect healer for Sword Squadron. You think that we were designed around Sword Squadron. Underlurker, yeah, we're not as good as the Scoundrel, to be honest. We do have Hold the Line though, which helps on Underlurker a hell of a lot. It helps you with the big knockback that you get hiding behind the thing, when you hide behind the rock. So, you know, he does this big ability. I can never remember what it's called, this big ability. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But I know you hide behind the rock. If you Hold the Line, you just watch everybody get knocked back except you. It's also useful on Revan HM as well. Very, very useful. A lot of people stacking those mercs. You're getting stacked, so it is a good time. If you're a merc healer or a merc DPS, you're in demand. If you're half decent at your class, you're going to be in demand. You know, you're going to be very much in demand for these current tier of ops. Wish this current tier would end, because yeah, they're going to be the only viable class it's going to turn out to be soon, with the nerfs. You know, Sages not so much now after their changes. Sage DPS got nerfed, and of course Sage healing is getting the big nerf in patch 3.2.1, which is coming up soon. So hopefully, yeah, and the operatives, it's still too hard to tell whether it's a nerf or a buff. Again, some mobility buff, at least for the operatives, but we'll discuss that in the operative video. Anyway, we went on too long. Anyway, that is all for this video, so thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon, and goodbye.